It's a violent game. It's become increasingly violent in the last decade, I think. And I think what happens at the professional level filters down to the junior levels, and we're now seeing some of the consequences of that.
Do you like the idea of young girls being able to play any sport that they want to play?
I would. This is open to so many jokes, but I'm going to let it go. I'm going to play it straight. I think the idea of it is ridiculous because maybe at this level she may not get hurt, but if she moves up and she would do it in a big high school, for example, the reality is that men and women are built differently. And when I played the game, somebody like her, you don't look at who you're tackling. You don't look at who you look at the color of the jersey, and this girl's going to get hurt. And a lot of good. And there are sports for girls, there are sports for boys, and they ought to be kept that way.
When I'm on a guys team with so many guys that are so much better, faster, stronger, bigger than me, and I'm able to take them down or make a really good play, and then they don't even know I'm a girl, but my whole team and the whole sideline knows I'm a girl, it's just the most amazing feeling, because it's like, they don't know your gender, they're just like, oh, that guy made a good play, but it's like really like, wow, it's a girl, I just got tackled by a girl. And so I just think it's like the best feeling in the world. My name is Grace Wiley and I play football. Oh, football, like soccer. And I was like, no, football. And they were like, oh, I've never heard of a girl doing that before. Or there were times where I tell like girls at my school and guys at my school, and they were like, okay, well, you obviously do less weight, or like, do you even play? Like, are you just the kicker? And those aren't like, they don't seem like negatives to a lot of people, but like, I guess to me, like, you're so excited about the sport and to play it, and so when other people aren't as excited as you are, it just kind of lets you down. But you learn to just kind of like laugh it off, and you have to understand that like, no one, it's definitely a new thing, and it's coming with like the new generation, more girls are playing, and so you just kind of have to be understanding that like a lot of people aren't going to be used to it and are going to be uncomfortable with the idea of you playing. So I think I decided to join the football team because as a kid I always like wanted to do things where everyone would be like, oh my gosh, like that's crazy. Like I kind of liked being like definitely the center of attention as a kid, and so when a guy in my class was kind of like saying in like 7th grade, like, oh, like if girls ever played football, they'd be like the water girls. I was like, oh my gosh, that's perfect. I can play football, and like that would be so cool, and everyone would like know me, because that was just a goal as a kid. And it wasn't more of like caring about the sport as a kid, it was more of the attention. But over like the 3 years of me like convincing my parents and researching the sport more, it became more about the sport and the attention just kind of like lost my mind, and it was more about the sport. Growing up, I was always a tomboy and always liked to do more of the outdoorsy things and hang out with the guys. So my first day kind of joining the guys and lifting and working out with them wasn't as bad as I think it would be for most girls, but it was definitely still uncomfortable. I'm not underestimating that. I was really nervous that they were going to judge me for the fact that I wouldn't be doing as good. But I soon realized after a couple weeks that like the guys, even though it was weird and definitely like different for them, they were all on my side. They weren't there to bully me. They weren't there to kind of push me around. They were there to like definitely be there for me. And I made a lot of friends right in the beginning, and everyone was like really, maybe not excited, but just really like anxious for like what was to come, but they were happy anxious. Well, I told my friends that I was considering it probably in like 8th grade before I actually started playing, and they were just kind of like, oh, like that'd be cool, but like yeah, we'll see if that actually happens, because they knew my parents weren't like up for it. And then when I had told them like, oh, like I talked to the coach, like I talked to my mom, like it's happening, they were like, oh my gosh, that is so cool, like I'm so excited, like we're gonna be repping your jerseys. Like they were so excited to like be like my #1 fans.
Watching her play the first time, I went with our friend Madison, and we were just like in the stands just screaming and yelling for Grace to like keep on going and like play her hardest.
And then there were also other times where The guys would definitely, like, if I was up to go against a receiver, that receiver would go to the back of the line because they didn't want to either go up against me because they didn't want to, like, embarrass me, or because they didn't want to be embarrassed if the chance that I beat them in the one-on-ones. There are also definitely times where the guys kind of crack jokes, but definitely when you spend a year with like an amount of 60 guys in a room, you get used to just like not being sensitive and taking their jokes with a grain of salt, and you just kind of laugh them off and you get used to them. So when I first started lifting, there were definitely times when the coaches and the guys would be like, oh, you can do this weight instead of this weight. And I was always like, well, let me just try the more weight, and then if I need to, I'll go down. And even if the more weight or the bigger weight was too much for me, I still tried to push through it because I didn't want to be looked at differently, or the guys be like, oh, that was easy for you because it was less weight. So I always tried to push through and do the more weight.
Coaching her is really not like coaching, it's like coaching everybody else. So it's not really much of a difference, but at the same time, it's a little bit motivational and inspirational for me because I know who she is and what she's trying to accomplish and all of those things. I tend to push her a little bit more and really challenge her because I know it's tough for her to be out here anyway. So coaching her is, it's fun. It's fun for me. It really keeps me on my game. As far as her being a teammate, it's unbelievable. I think what it is for us as coaches to have, but more importantly, I think for the boys hear her. If you ask them if there's one voice that they hear every Friday night on the sideline during the game with everything that's going on, every one of them will tell you that they hear Grace every play. So it's pretty cool.
And I'm a teammate of Grace's. Yeah, Grace is an awesome teammate. She's always the loudest person out there, and it's great to have her. It was a couple of years ago that Grace joined the team, and we were happy to have her, but I didn't really know her at the time. But over the years, she's been just such a great friend and a great teammate that it was easy to make a connection with her, and she does that with a lot of our teammates.
As a teammate, Grace is one of the best teammates I have probably ever been around in all of my years of coaching football. She's the epitome of what we want teammates to be, which is understand what your role is on the team, embrace that role, and give everything that you have in that role, whatever that role might be. And if that is not playing and standing on the sideline and cheering your teammates on, she does that. If she gets an opportunity to get in the game and play a play or two or three or five or however many it is, she has herself physically and mentally prepared to go out and play. So
let's go, Grace!
I feel like so included with the guys, like it really is a family. They're literally just like I have 60 brothers that aren't actually my brothers, but they are. And when I'm on the field, it doesn't matter that I have a ponytail. It's like I'm just one of the guys. It doesn't matter that I'm a girl anymore. It's like the best feeling in the world.